Welcome back to another episode of Criminals Hate Me. It is the true crime podcast that criminals don't want you to watch. And guys, please stay tuned to the very end of this episode because you're not going to believe what I show you at the end. Okay? But as always, I've got to give you some foundational information here that I can show you what I found, and then at the end I'm going to put it all together and tie it all together for you. Okay, it's not going to make sense until you see all of the research that I've done first. Okay, so stay tuned because we may have some answers finally in the Scott and Tracy Hawkins case. Okay, at least this is what I believe. And I'm going to show you all the reasons, okay? So stay tuned until the end. And let me lay the groundwork throughout this episode and tie it all together at the end, okay? Back in August of 2021, two brothers vanished without a trace. No ransom, no bodies, no answers. But what I just found may change everything that we all thought we knew about this case. The disappearance of the Hawkins brothers was dismissed as just another tragic mystery. What started as a missing persons case has now spiraled into something much darker. This isn't just about two brothers who vanished. It's about the possibility of the terrifying truth that's been hiding in plain sight. And once you see it, you'll never look at this case the same way again. And with that, we're going to jump into the research, okay? A lot of you who follow me on my page, you've seen my post where I was asking some questions about Justin, and I even asked some questions about this neighbor, Barry Nelson. I got no responses. So we're going to do things my way. Okay? So let's go ahead and jump in, and we have to start here because in my last episode, guys, I told y'all that there's some connections here that someone's not revealing, that they're hiding for some reason. So tonight we will reveal all of the connections, okay? And we're going to tie some things together. So let's go ahead and jump in. So unfortunately, this is Justin McIntosh's obituary. It was at the Hatmaker Funeral Home, okay? And let's go ahead and read it off. Okay, Justin Lee McIntosh, age 30, of Jacksboro, passed away on January 25th, 2023 at his residence. So a lot of people were asking what happened to Justin. Okay, we don't know, but it happened at his residence, so it kind of narrows it down. We're not going to speculate, but there's not a lot of different things that could happen at your residence. Okay, we can put two and two together. But I would have loved for Donna or Shane to answer that question, but they don't want to. You know, and the only reason we're looking into this is because someone related to Justin is missing. Okay, two people. That's how all this started. Okay, he was born on July 23rd, 1992 to Daniel Scott Hawkins. So one of the brothers who are missing is Justin's dad. Here's another question. Why does Justin go by McIntosh and not Hawkins? So something's up with that. And Tina McIntosh, that's his mother. Okay, those are some names we looked at in my other videos. Justin was of the Baptist faith and attended Long Hollow Baptist Church in La Follette. Justin loved to ginseng. That's a bad habit I have, calling it, pronouncing it the wrong way. Justin loved to ginseng, doing yard work and cleaning the house. He is preceded in death by his dad, Daniel Scott Hawkins, and his uncle, Tracy Hawkins. Those are the two that are missing. It's the only reason we're looking at this page, guys. I'm not being disrespectful at all, but Justin is the son of one of the missing people and the nephew of one of them, okay? And grandfather Daniel Boone Hawkins. Justin is survived by, so here's all his family members right here. His mom is Tina. She's still alive, okay? He has a daughter, Cadence, and Chevelle, okay? His grandma is Donna Hawkins. We already know that. Uncle is Jason Hawkins. I believe Jason was in the documentary that John Ward did. I believe. And here is his sisters, Ladonna McIntosh and Daniel Hawkins. So now we have put all of the pieces together of what the connection is to the McIntoshes. Okay, you got to remember, the McIntoshes are who the grandmother is blaming for the disappearance, for some reason, of Scott and Tracy. I don't know why she thinks that they did something to the boys and then poured the concrete or buried them in or under the pond or whatever and then moved to the Philippines. I would love to know her reasoning. Okay, but that's for another episode. Right now we're going to look into what I found, okay? So this is what I find very interesting because someone else in my comments mentioned Ladonna and wanted me to look into Ladonna. That's his sister, right? So let's go back to my trusty little website here, True People Search. And if you look up Justin McIntosh, you can see that at one time he lived at this address here. Okay? And then if you go down, you will see Ladonna McIntosh as his sister. All right. So the only reason I'm showing you guys this is we're going to tie some stuff together before I can show you what I found. But they both lived here, 252 Bolin. Look up Ladonna, 252 Bolin, okay? So this is the right Ladonna that I'm looking up. That's why I wanted to show y'all Justin's page, and then here's Ladonna's. So it says that Ladonna currently lives here, okay? But that's not what I wanted to show you, okay? I'm going to show you something else, but let me just show you this first, and then we'll come back to this page, okay? Because this page right here is where I found something that made my jaw drop, okay? So if you look here, and this is what someone was pointing out to me, that Ladonna was supposed to appear for a court date, and she skipped out on it. So now she's wanted. She's got warrants. They're going to track her down. Okay, and I don't know what her court date was over, but she's got some kind of criminal charges going on, some kind of court case going on. Okay, she looks a bit rough. So she looks like she's living a rough life, guys. And y'all know what that means. Probably drugs involved, unfortunately. But I wanted to look into what does criminal capias mean, okay? A capias warrant is a type of arrest warrant issued by a court. It's used when someone has already been involved in a legal case and has failed to meet certain obligations. The warrant directs law enforcement to arrest the individual and bring them before the court. So she didn't show up on her own, so they're just going to go get her and force her to show up, okay? And it says failure to appear. So that's what this is over. Failure to appear. The most common reason is when a defendant misses a scheduled court date, even if it's just one missed appearance. Okay, so I don't know what she's got going on, but this is Justin's sister. Okay, and so this is proof that she's a criminal. I mean, I hate to say it, but she is. Okay, she's a wanted criminal, and I don't know. This is recent, as of August 1st. So I don't know how long she's been living this kind of crazy life, but as of right now, she's still living crazy. Okay, and I wanted to also point out, okay, because it makes you wonder, why would she miss her court date? Okay, on August 1st, which was 20 days ago. Okay, is there something that she fears? Okay. And I just wanted to point out that John Ward released his documentary about the missing brothers on July 22nd. So about a week, little more than a week before she was supposed to appear in court. So now, with John being in town and recording and being at LaDonna's grandma's house and talking to all the people that he's talking to, Shane and Cassie and Jason Hawkins, okay, is she scared of something? Is she worried that if she were to appear in court, that now everybody knows where she's at, locked up, and maybe try to see if she can give some information about her parent, about the missing brothers, okay, Scott and Tracy, okay. So, and I'm gonna show y'all why I think that, guys. But LaDonna may have something to do with this case. I really hate to say it, but let me show you why, okay? Let's go back to the map here, okay? Because in my videos, I spent a lot of time in this area, okay? Guys, we went and we looked at, street view about this area, this house here. We even went down and looked down here, right? We looked at the church, we looked at the funeral home. And also another thing I did find out was this was a different funeral home back when Scott and Tracy went missing. Okay, I don't know when Leach family took over, but this was called something else. That's another important fact that someone should have told me, because I'm researching this, and I told y'all this was a 24-hour funeral home. Well, it's irrelevant because this wasn't even the damn funeral home that was there. It was called something else. So this is what we got going on in this case, guys, and I told y'all, somebody's leaving information out. They're not telling us stuff. This is the type of crap that I'm talking about. We need all the accurate information that we can get so that we can properly investigate and not go down rabbit holes. That's why this case is not solved. This is probably why law enforcement is not doing anything about this case, because there's too much information, and there's also, not too much, there's too much wishy-washy information, okay? There's a huge lack of actual information, and there's too many rumors, okay? This is what we got here. We got diversions, is what I think. The ginseng hunting, disappearance, to where they think that the McIntoshes held guns on them and stuff. That's a divergence. That's a diversion. Okay, I think that's hogwash. Somebody made that up. Okay, then up here somewhere is Shady Cove, where the drug cabin is. Can't remember exactly where it's at. It's up here, 2 miles somewhere up here. Okay, That's another diversion. Okay? People are wanting you to look this way and that way to hide the truth of what's here in plain sight, of what I think really happened. Okay? I told you guys over and over that they had to have picked this location by the box truck to dump the vehicle. Okay? And I was sitting here trying to put two and two together, wondering if it's really possible that they parked here and walked way the hell up here. And then the McIntoshes, you know, they were met by foul play up there, because that's the story. And the McIntoshes moved to the Philippines. Okay? Guys, why would they wait 3 years? If this happened in August of 2021, why are you going to wait 3 years to move? Okay? And if they recently poured the concrete, why did they wait 3 years to pour the concrete? Didn't law enforcement take dogs up on this mountain? Don't you think if bodies were hidden somewhere, the dogs would have went straight to them? Like, yeah, I get it. It's hard to find bodies in concrete. But the concrete supposedly wasn't poured until 2024, and then they moved to the Philippines and sold the house. So does that make any sense, guys? No, it doesn't. I think it's a diversion. Somebody's wanting you to look that way for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, but they're taking the spotlight off of here is why I think. I told y'all over and over they dumped it here for a reason, and I'm about to show you what I think happened, okay, based on this information. So if you look at, okay, actually, one more thing. I was wanting to know if there's connections to where this box truck is, right? Why dump it here? And then that's why I looked at the neighbor, okay? I may be totally wrong about the neighbor, okay? And I proved that there's connections from this house to this building. I proved it with the white truck, okay, and the trash bags, okay? And I have now done 5 videos on this case. This will be number 6, okay? In one of my videos, I highlighted this house as the nosy neighbors that must know something, okay? Because, guys, I am absolutely sure that someone in this area dumped the vehicle here for a reason, okay? And it's not way the hell up here. I'm sorry, it's not. Okay? Someone in the neighborhood had to have, or someone with connections to this area. Okay? So who is that? Well, let me show you. Ladonna McIntosh, the sister of Justin McIntosh. Let me show you her previous addresses. And this is strange as hell. 2796 Highway 116. So, where is 2796 Highway 116? Right here. Can y'all believe this, guys? 2796 Highway 116. Look. 1, 2, 3 buildings down from where the vehicle was dumped. So we have been looking in the wrong directions. We were looking up here. We were looking way back over here to the drug cabin when it's been right under our noses the whole time, guys. Right here. And let me show you something, because you're not going to believe this. In my other video, do y'all remember that I went up here? To AJ's, it shows blank, but let's go back down here. I'll show you. Oh, that's right. It was the 2021. Here we go. Remember we looked at this. Not AJ's. AJ's is this place, which is now Good Times. Or it was Good Times, and now, let's see, now it's AJ's. But right next door. But y'all remember, guys, we looked at all this, remember? And then we looked at this, which is now TNT Used Auto Dealer. But in 2021, it was Highway 116 Cycle Shop. Do y'all remember? Look, there's those people we were looking at. Remember? I went right here, and I zoomed in on my other video, and I said, look, there's people outside. Someone saw something. I mean, it's not, but hell, that looks like it could be one of the boys, right? Looks like him. Looks like Scott. But, it's probably not. But why does Ladonna, Justin's sister, Scott's daughter, why does it say that her address is right here at this cycle shop? So the only thing it can mean is that upstairs is a house and downstairs they ran a cycle shop or whatever they ran. And that Ladonna lived there. Was she dating someone that lived there? I don't know the answer, but it's right here in black and white, guys. Ladonna lived here. 3 buildings away from where Scott and Tracy's vehicle was dumped. Okay, I already mapped it, already measured it, but we'll do it right now. Okay, measure from where the vehicle was found to right here in front where it says Ladonna's messed up there, to the address. Okay, measure right here, 518 feet. That's it. From where Ladonna has a previous known address on the same exact highway where Scott and Tracy's vehicle was found dumped and then burned. And then John Ward did a documentary where he went and looked at the vehicle and the seats were pulled up. Okay. Shane was about 5'7", and even him getting in there, he said it wasn't comfortable. Okay. Because guys are bigger than girls, just naturally, body types. Okay. Even Cassie got in there. She said it wasn't really comfortable for her. Okay. But from the picture we just looked at of Ladonna, she looks like a petite female. Okay. I think Ladonna would fit perfectly in that vehicle with the way that those seats were moved. Okay. So we have been looking at this case all wrong. Let's fix this map here. We have been looking at this case all wrong, guys. Who would have had easy access to dumping the vehicle here? Who lives, said that, who has a history of living in this neighborhood that knows the area, okay, and that knows that this vehicle was dumped? I mean, I'm sorry. Blah, I'm blurring my words here. Who knows that this building is abandoned, okay, where a vehicle could be dumped, okay? Because we already seen that Barry had his vehicles here at this abandoned building, okay? And nobody bothered him for all these years until all these true crime sleuths and John Ward and everyone kept coming around and filming the area, okay? And now suddenly you got to move your vehicle, okay? It's bringing too much attention to this abandoned building. Nobody knew about this abandoned building with a box truck in front of it and where Scott and Tracy's vehicle was found, okay? Until now, there's a lot of eyeballs on this building, okay? So who lives in the area that knows the area very well and knows that it wouldn't make sense, and you'd probably get caught dumping the vehicle at the Lake City Church of Christ and dumping it here at this funeral home. Okay, there's probably cameras, and like I said, 24 hours a day. Maybe somebody was there, but it doesn't make sense to dump a vehicle at a church or a funeral home. Okay, it doesn't make sense to dump it here. This is a business. Plus, it's right next door to where Ladonna lives. It doesn't make sense to dump it at Barry's house. Okay? And then whatever this is, I showed y'all that this house looks like it's abandoned. Okay? So could Ladonna have dumped the vehicle here and then just walked back to her address? I already did the research, and it only takes a minute and a half up to about 3 minutes tops to walk this distance. So, guys, what I'm laying out here is a high probability, okay, based on where Ladonna was living. And based on Ladonna having a criminal history and a current court case, and that she looks like she's probably on drugs, okay, living that hard, crazy lifestyle. Okay, if this was a biker shop, we know that those guys, those type of guys, they drink, they do drugs, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Okay, that's part of the lifestyle. It is what it is. So, did Ladonna have something to do with dumping the vehicle here? Okay, because guys, I asked the question over and over and over and over. Why did they choose this spot? Does it make sense to park here and then walk up here? No, it doesn't. Does it make sense that the McIntoshes would kill them just for hunting ginseng? No. Does it make sense that they would leave the bodies somewhere for 3 years and then finally put them in concrete and then move to the Philippines? Okay? No. Does it make sense that they were at the drug house way the hell up here and then you dump it down here by Ladonna's house? No, guys. No. It makes sense that the vehicle is here because Ladonna lives here. And I really hate to make these accusations, but you have to just add 2 plus 2 sometimes, guys, and look at who had the opportunity. Okay? If Ladonna lived right here, okay, she is right across the street from supposedly this gold mine of ginseng. So, guys, this is my question. If ginseng is so freely and widely available everywhere in Tennessee, why is anyone broke? Okay? Why would anybody have to steal or kill or burglarize or do whatever? Okay? When you can just go up in ginseng and get money. So something's off here. Okay? So, and I truly believe, this is what I believe. Scott and Tracy probably had some ginseng, and I don't know if they had it that day or if they had it from the days before. Okay? But I don't think that they park here and then walk across. I really don't, guys. I say, you can go ask Barry. This may be where Barry comes in. Hey, Barry, have you ever seen Scott and Tracy park here next door and then walk across and go up into the woods? Okay, you had to have seen it. Okay, you've never moved out. Okay, so that's where Barry could come in. But I think 2 + 2 is 4, guys. 3 houses down from where Ladonna's known address was on the highway. So this is the highway of secrets. And unfortunately, I think that Scott and Tracy were betrayed by their own family member. Okay? If Ladonna was Justin's sister, then that means Ladonna was Scott's daughter. Right? Unless it's a half. I don't know. But I know that Justin was Scott's son. I can't put 2 and 2 together, and nobody will answer me of why he went by McIntosh instead of Hawkins. Okay? So I don't know if Ladonna was really biologically Scott's daughter, or is it just that Ladonna was Justin's sister and that's it? So, do you think that Ladonna, with the help of someone, okay, because these are some pretty rough looking characters here. Let's go back to 2021. Did Ladonna mastermind this? Okay, did someone rob Scott and Tracy and then get rid of them and dump the vehicle down the road? And there's got to be a reason why law enforcement won't let anyone search up there by the McIntoshes, because I don't think that law enforcement thinks that they're up there. Okay. Yeah, their scent would have been up there because they were just up there the day before, their own trail cam. Okay, so I don't think that the McIntoshes or whoever provided the trail cam, I don't think that they would have ever given any trail cam at all if Scott and Tracy were on those mountains. Okay, I don't think, if that's where they're deceased at, you're not going to give up those trail cams. Okay, so the morning of when they disappeared, Donna and them were asking why they didn't give those trail cam pictures. There may not be any. Okay? There may not be any. Because they may have been, they may have met foul play before they ever made it. Okay? That's the sad reality of what's going on here. And someone dumped the vehicle here because they have knowledge that supposedly they were ginseng hunting up here. Right? But when Ladonna lives here, it just doesn't look good, guys. She has easy access to dump the vehicle here. So the question is, where in the hell are Scott and Tracy? What happened? And who dumped the vehicle? And that's all I got for you guys. Later.